everyone. I wanted to show you how I made a fairy dress for the Uk-Irelandcraftswaps group. I'm hosting a swap over there, and it's supposed to be of lace and trims and anything else you want to use to make it look like a fairy dress. I was inspired by a picture I found on Pinterest, and I spent ages going back and forth every time I saw this particular picture. Excuse me. Trying to get back to the original person who had made one, but the link's broken, and so far I've not been able to find her, because I really would like to say thank you for the inspiration and also show what the girls on the Uk-Irelandcraftswaps group are making. It's an international group and we've got girls from everywhere going to be taking part by the looks of it, and we've put another one up specifically for Christmas, for a Christmas fairy dress. Anyway, this was mine. I have put a picture up on my YouTube, on my Facebook, and I've also got a picture on the actual site. And I started off with some quite loosely woven cloth, and all I did was folded it in half and roughly cut into slightly narrower at the waist and broader shouldered shape. And then I started to stitch, my sewing machine packed up, so I glued the edges over until they were fairly even on both sides. And I cut a neck, and I tucked the neck back either side and glued it and made the shape, and that's all it is, it's glued back in there. And then I sewed, once that was all done and together, I sewed on some beads around the neck. I then had a little bit of lace, which is this one, which I put just inside the sleeve, so that when this was laid out, I put it in like that. I tucked all this behind, so it was just these little pieces, and then once I was ready, I pulled them back like that to make the shoulders. I just added another 6 little beads, or seed beads, to hold it in place on either side. I'll just take the hanger out of here a minute, because it'll be easier for me to handle. After I'd done that, I'd turned it inside out again, stitched down one side, and then turned it over, but I had to stitch that side through here because I'd already started to attach the lace at the bottoms, and I would never have been able to get any of the lace through. So I know now, next time, to get all the body done without the beading or any decoration, just get the body shape done and then start adding everything else. And what I basically did was cut any laces I had into strips, because I didn't have anything, well, not much narrow lace, but I did have lots of odds and ends of wider lace. I cut it onto strips and I tea-dyed it and hung it out on the line, which caused a little bit of a kerfuffle with the neighbours, because they couldn't understand why I was tie-dyeing rags, as they thought. And this was a piece of lace from Lavish Laces, and Gisela sent these. It was the first time I'd ordered anything from the US, and I ordered a couple of grab bags of lace, and this was in both of them, so I had a couple of yards of it, and I cut off the pattern, the nice pattern piece, and then this piece I just cut into 3, and there are strips of that going right the way through the dress. That's tea-dyed really, really well, actually. Some of these laces are old, some of them were originally this colour. This piece here was from Roberta, and just a small length of it, and I've used it on a couple of projects, including an altered bottle that I did for her, but it took the tea dye really, really lovely. This is its own original colour, so you can see the colour through it. And then once I've got all the lacing that I wanted on there, underneath I actually put quite a lot of odd pieces of ribbon that I had. Mistake, I wouldn't use these again because they kind of poke through quite a lot, but easy to tuck back. And netting to help fill it out. And then once I'd got everything on there that I wanted to, I put this piece of lace around the middle and added this, which was a button which I've cut the back off of it, I've glued that on. Then I had a little bit of trim left from somewhere else which I took down the back. It's almost corset-like that it looks now. And I added a piece of trim that I'd left over from J-Ho Clueless, from a giveaway that she did. And I put that down the middle of the back. And then there's little tiny charms hanging off the end of that. Not the same, they're all different. Little star on there. And these were given to me in a swap that I did. And I will put everyone's details down below. And these little tiny filigree pieces were perfect for this because they're really light and they don't make anything hang awkwardly, but they do look nice. It's a little bit, I don't know, gypsy fairy like with all this lace and all the little pieces on it. And then on the bottom I used some of the clip ends that you use in jewellery, and I've used these on bookmark ends when you do lace bookmarks. Did that and then added some charms, some amber coloured beads, and here a couple of hearts, and there's quite a few little charms on this. So that's on the back, and then on the front exactly the same idea. So I say about the ribbon coming through, and exactly the same idea with little filigree pieces. And on the bottom obviously it's all the same. You can see from the other side there's a couple. There's one here with a key, and there's two on here that I haven't put things on the end yet, but I've actually ordered some charms specifically for this, so they will go on later. Just move that out of the way. I also added some of these little tiny charms, and that on other piece of laces going down the side. And this is a thread or a yarn, and which is what it's like up close. If I get it to focus, it's quite knotted. I just cut 5 lengths of that, and I actually used glue to glue that. I knotted it together, then glued the whole knot on the inside of the sleeve. And then I just settled some of those beads, and they go a little over halfway down at the front. And I've also got some on shorter pieces of laces with charms and chain and bells. There's a little mermaid on that one, and this one has a little princess crown. So that is my princess dress. The only thing I would add if anybody's making these, for the swap it had to be hollow. Some people used, which I thought was an ingenious idea, they made a bodice by papier-mâché and round up like a Barbie doll type figure, and that works really well. And because I wanted to glue things, I used a little bit of this to sew and glue to hold it in place, so that I wasn't sticking anything to the back or sewing anything through to the back. And that worked really well as well. This particular dress has to have a hanger. I messed mine up because as I was bending the wire, I snapped the top, so it's only got a little hook on it. It will hang, but I need to do another one really. And that's just covered in lace and a bit of this thread. So that's the actual, hard to show you the whole thing. I'm not sure how long that is actually. I just have a quick measure because I said they had to be to the bottom at least 8 inches. They can be over but not under 8 inches. And this one's actually should be over a foot, I think. Yeah, if I the bottom of the charms, we're talking about 14.5 inches, so I'm fine with that. And that's my lace fairy dress. I hope you like it, and thanks everyone for watching.